So this video will be part of a series that I will be working on from now on. The series will be about periodization, which is basically planning when it comes to sports and performance. And one part of that is the principle of overload. Let's get right into it. So as an athlete, whichever sport you may play, you will always have a baseline normal. Whether you're playing an endurance sport, you're measuring your strength, you're a powerlifter, your aerobic capacity, whatever, you will always have a baseline normal. And in order for a change to happen, the training load needs to be above this baseline normal. It needs to be higher than what you're accustomed to, otherwise you'll be stuck here forever. Now in sports science there are generally two accepted methods of breaking through this baseline normal. One is to change the training load, that is the intensity or the weight if you do strength sports, or the pace that you're running if you're an endurance runner, or the volume, which is sets and reps, or the distance run if you do an endurance sport. Or you change the exercise category as a whole. You challenge your body in new planes of movement which it is not accustomed to. If you as an athlete expose your body to the same type of stimulus all the time, no change will happen and you'll remain the same. For instance, we have a powerlifter here that decides to add 1 kilogram to his deadlift during the working sets in the next training session, and he will keep on doing this for as long as it works. Likewise, we have an athlete of the other end of the spectrum, an endurance runner that decides to beat his time on the 5-kilometer run with 10 seconds for the next training session, and then on and on. This is one way to give your body new stimulus that it's not used to. A very tragic fact about sports is that fitness is lost very fast if you stop training. As an athlete, you probably can't afford complete passive rest for more than 3 days before things start to go downhill. That is why you always have to keep giving your body new kinds of stimulus and staying active. There are 3 points I want you to remember from this video. We have stimulating load, retaining load, and detraining load. A stimulating load is when the load is above the neutral zone, the baseline normal, and adaptation can therefore take place because your body is not accustomed to this. This is where you want to remain all the time. A retaining load is when the load is in the neutral zone and fitness is only maintained. And there are probably situations where you want to do this too. For example, you're in the competition season and you can't afford to be doing heavy strength training all the time because you have to compete in your sport. But that is for another video. A detraining load is when the load is too high or even too low, and performance will start going downhill from this. It's simply not enough stimulus for your body to improve, or it's just too much stimulus and it will be overwhelming and injuries and stuff will start to come into the picture. So here we have an athlete that decides to squat 60 kilograms for 5 repetitions in his first week of strength training. It's pretty easy for him, so after that he decides to increase with 2.5 kilograms every week. And before he knows it, he can squat 70 kilograms for 5 repetitions after a couple of weeks, but it stops here. And he has obviously reached a plateau and he can't seem to break through this, whatever he does, like he's stuck in this 70 kilogram 5 repetitions barrier. Now the question is, why did progress suddenly stop? He was increasing all of those kilograms so smoothly, why did it stop suddenly here? And the answer is accommodation. Your body has simply accommodated to the stimulus that you expose it to. It is a basic biological law that an organism will adapt to its environment and the stimulus it is exposed to. What your body is basically telling you that, hey, I have adapted to this squat thing now and I see what you're trying to do. This shit is getting boring, give me something new. And you have to listen to that, so it is time for a change. Now if this athlete decides to continue this path without changing anything despite hitting this obvious plateau, performance will start going downhill. And this is because naturally our bodies want to take the easy way out. If it doesn't have to put forward more effort, it simply won't. So in other words, your body will think the task is easy and it will start taking things easily. And this is where you need a radical change. You simply force a change to happen. And this is the reason why variation is so important in training. Whatever you may be doing, whether you're a power athlete, a strength athlete, endurance athlete, our bodies, they simply adapt and they constantly need new stimulus, new challenges. Our bodies grow bored. Exactly the same way as if you buy a piece of clothing, you'll grow bored of it. You want new things. Your body works the same as this child who grows bored of her old toys and wants new ones all the time. So basically it's this: stick to a routine as long as it works. When it stops working, simply change the routine. And this is one very age-old method that coaches use throughout the years to make their athletes win Olympic gold medals. They stick to an idea, and when that doesn't give them anything anymore, they simply change. That's it. Now this adaptation, it's not necessarily bad, like quite the opposite actually. It's a sign that improvement has been made and you simply need to change things for a new adaptation to occur. Think of it as a test that you have passed, so now you can relax and on to the next one. Now if you decide to change your routines because of a plateau, the new variation and the previous one still need to be similar and specific to your sport. Let's say you got stuck in the back squat, you didn't improve anymore. Well, maybe you will decide to switch up with the front squat or another squat variation because they are both in the same category and specific to your sport, which in this case might be wrestling, for example. For example, if I would switch the back squat to a bicep curl, that wouldn't be very productive, of course, because they're not within the same category. So here's a question that I hope you can answer by now. We have two athletes with the same fitness and genetics, let's play with that hypothetical thought, and they have both reached a plateau. Athlete A decides to take it easy for 1 week and then continue with the exact same program as before. While athlete B takes it easy for 1 week as well, but he begins a new program. Previously he might have focused on heavy weights and low repetition, so now he wants to focus on high reps and medium weights, more of a hypertrophy style training to challenge the body in new metabolic demands. Which approach is the wisest? So a quick summary. Physical training is all about just staying beyond your edge. If you're too back off from your edge, no improvement will occur. It's not enough stimulus and you will stay the same. And if you're too far beyond your edge, your baseline normal, you will experience overtraining and injury, and that is a big no-no. So the puzzle of all training is identifying where this edge is, this baseline normal, and just staying beyond it. Not too much and not too far away. In other words, you can't be lazy and you can't be reckless either. And I cannot tell you where the baseline normal is for every athlete, like a one-size-fits-all solution, because if I had that, I would probably be sitting in a pile of cash right now. This is the job for you as an athlete and your coach to find out, because everyone is unique, they all need different approaches. Thanks for watching.